I am the cute. I am. Okay. So apparently it has taken 100,000 expressions, all these videos, for me to get to this question, which is the one I've been kind of like trying to arrive at. Okay? So here's the question. What am I supposed to do? Okay? What does it mean? I'm trying to like not talk too much because then I might like not get to the question. But if I don't say anything, then it's like, should I try to? I want the truth. Here's what I want. I'm looking for the truth. Is the truth that when Scandinavians douse me with hatred, when they sense that I'm singing Scandinavian songs, they feel surprised. They're like, wait, what? She looks not Scandinavian. Why is she singing the folk songs? At first it's like surprise and a kind of like shock and a kind of like their brains go into this mode of like the processing. That's like a kind of like shock they go into. But then like several hours pass or like a day passes because it's like I'm talking about like the collective consciousness of Scandinavian people. I kind of like sense this like radio frequency of like human consciousness level to a certain degree, and it interacts with me to a certain degree. And I think it's because I did the law of attraction like work, where you very intentionally choose focus on certain thought content and you switch your attention or your focus away from thought content that you don't want. And ever since I did that, like life stopped being random, and I miss it being random because now everything's constantly like the world now is like, you know, like I recently found out the name for like when birds fly and it looks like one being is flying around, like a bunch of little birds are like flying, but it looks like a cloud of birds is flying. Fish in the sea can also do the same thing. It's like individual fish, but they all kind of move like this. So now like I experienced that a little bit with like something in the world, not as clean as like, oh, here's like the consciousness of Scandinavians and I'm like talking to it. It's not as clean as that, but there's like a give and take that happens, or like a cause and effect that happens, and it's weird because it's like I'm interacting with people, not with individuals, with like a kind of like individuals perceive me, like somebody hears my voice singing a folk song, a Scandinavian folk song, and then like it like because everyone's in this like invisible mental connections field, and like when one person's brain gets the input of the audio of Scandinavian folk song being sung by a person, but that person doesn't look Scandinavian, that goes off in their brain. That going off in their brain is picked up as something that someone else can perceive as an energy, as a radio frequency. They might not know exactly what it is, but they perceive it, which is why there's a time lag. Because the person perceiving it somewhere isn't like right next to the man who heard me sing the song. They don't know what just happened. They just kind of get a ping. And then that ping is heard by some other person's brain. And then that pings. And there's like a vibe, like a message goes off. Like someone singing a Scandinavian folk song. But then at some point, like it also trickles down like into the network of like mental consciousness that like the person is not Scandinavian looking, so what's going on? And so at first the person might have been just surprised, but then at some point it gets to the white supremacists in this like network of human consciousness. Maybe like it's Jung's collective conscious thing or collective unconscious, but it's not anyway. And then like by the time it gets to the white, like some white supremacists hear about this and they don't like it, and then they get all riled up, and then they like push back against me because they're like, a person who doesn't look Scandinavian should not be singing Scandinavian folk songs. So at first, when I like yesterday, I went out singing, it was like everybody was surprised and shocked. They weren't saying anything, but I could. I mean, their body language was kind of like what, and then like there was just an energy because I feel like in my body like energy happenings, like my stomach muscles will tense up, or like I can sense certain things, in my physical body, and so like yesterday was all just fine because I just kind of caught them off guard. This might not record because it's saying that my phone's on low battery.